Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and it's been a little bit since we had our last UniXMatch, but that's because I was trying to do a couple of things. I wanted to clean up the format a little bit, get the centering better. I also wanted to try commentary instead of just the normal audio and see how you guys like it. So today, instead of having the normal audio for the match, it's actually going to be Amani and myself commentating the match. And so there we go. I hope you guys like it. And if you like the content, remember to hit that subscribe button, that like button. Just trying to grow the channel. And just in case you like any other Dragon Ball content, such as like figure reviews, Doken, you know, anything like manga news, stuff like that, I do have a second channel. It'll be down in the description, UniXDB. Check it out if you like any of those things. So let's get into the match. Today it'll be Unison Slayer, Zamasu, versus Set 11 Gotenks. Okay, so start of game one. We got Amani here to help commentate.
Hello.
And it looks like, yeah, Amani lost the die roll.
As usual.
Just showing both players real quick. We were all having a good time at the homie's house.
It was cool, yeah. So, let's see. From what I'm seeing on screen here, we've got Justin with the Green Gotenks lead, one of the tier 1 decks of the format, in my opinion. We've got me over here playing Zamasu, a special Unison Slayer formula. I would consider more closer to a 1.52. Blue has been in and out of the format, seeing different resurgences, but I think the most consistent of the blue decks that we've seen performing in events as of late has been Soul Striker, not very much Zamasu, and I think that it has a lot to do with the aspect of Zamasu really having an extreme left to right, and where on your left you see your setup, you see your Cosmic Trader or your Zeno, you get your turn to awaken, it flows perfectly, and then it feels like it's way ahead as long as you keep snowball. Where on the other side, you don't see one, the other, or either of those cards sometimes, and you just feel generically weaker than other blue decks. So this should be a pretty interesting matchup because in terms of consistency, Gotenks is heavily favored as far as how well you see your setup, but I think if both of them hit optimally, Zamasu has a really good chance here. So let's see what happens. Let's start with Justin here. Charging Frieza and passing. That's an interesting one. I'd have to say he must just not have a play on turn one, since obviously there's nothing that Zamasu can do on turn one that would disrupt, say for example, if he were to play his Goku on one, or even like use his Goten and Trunks out of the deck or something like that.
Yeah, clearly no Trunks Goten nor Goku.
Charging the God Ceiling, that's a pretty obvious charge here. Not great power in this matchup since most of the big Gotenks cards have deflect. It's unfortunate.
Between his boss Gotenks and Cell Zeno, a lot of his top end just goes through Blue's counterplay, which is really one of the stronger parts of playing Blue.
Yep. Here's Vegito, and this is one of the most important cards here in the matchup because having a turn 2 green Unison allows you to awaken your leader, which, as you know, untaps 1, draws 1, goes to 6 life, and puts you on 15k from the start. This leader here, now his backside abilities are not notably important so much as his ability to awaken right off the top on turn 2 and play from the higher life total for the game. Now Vegito plays a very big role in making sure that when you're using your Union Fusions that you are not losing card advantage, as well as his deadly -7 ability, which we'll talk about later. So it is going to happen, I think.
Just close out a game immediately, his -7.
Now, ideally here, Zamasu wants to play from that 6 life, so we're taking these hits. And Justin ends on the blocker Gohan that summons for free and gives it revenge. So, pretty standard turn 2. He left his 1 energy open. That's probably from having missed his turn 1. He just didn't have another use for it. I feel like I would have at least made tokens here.
Still apply some pressure. It's not like you really have a way to do away with the tokens outside of maybe an overrun.
Yeah, considering that there's not really much I can do to him at this point. Ooh, starting a turn, swinging to draw. Must mean Must have missed the strategy there. Oh, I just drew it. Yeah, that's my life. All right, well, that's a waste of a Zamasu return. I figure I wouldn't even awaken at this point. And I can't deal damage, so looks like I'm gonna do it. So the Zamasu here, when you play it, you flip your top card to energy, and then at the end of the turn, you discard the energy that you played. Goes very well with the Zeno Unison, which does pretty much the same thing, and that allows you to hit 4 energy on turn 2, so your Zamasu leader can awaken and keep up with the rest of the format. I think this is super, super crucial right now, because if you're not getting that turn 2 awakening versus decks like these, especially going second, you're going to fall so far behind when you have to play that turn 3.
It's actually very neat in terms of the matchup, because both decks will awaken on turn 2 if optimal draws are had.
Yeah. But Zamasu, I mean, he really starts to double up on his pressure when he's flipped over. As you can see, he has his leader skill, which destroys the energy to either send a battle card to the bottom deck or gain dual attack. Now, there's a tricky interaction here between the Zamasu and the Zeno. For people who don't know, you have to make sure that you resolve the Zamasu's ability first, so that your Zeno ability doesn't end up killing additional energy. Prospect. In anticipation, more than likely, of the Grim Reaper Gotenks coming out. That should stop it from me. Oh, nope. Plays greatest fusion of them all.
I mean, at this point, Justin doesn't want to destroy his hand trying to swing under like a Reaper or anything, so he's just trying to make sure that Zeno can't sit here and stack for game.
Makes perfect sense to me. With the 1, 2... He must have started by attacking the Unison, since I went ahead and negated both the attacks. It must have been the Unison he was going after. I figured that this would be the ideal option here. Attack it with the leader, attack it with the Unison, play the Gotenks, then attack it with the Gotenks, and then -1 it with the leader to kill it. If the Zeno leaves the board here, it becomes very difficult for Zamasu to restabilize without playing another one, which is essentially a waste of the next turn. So,
as you guys can see, the EX evolve into all-out assault to rid the board of Zeno. This deck, especially green, like green in general is the color they try to have Unison removal through effect, but in general, Gotenks has excellent ability to tear through Unisons. It's like the second Unison Slayer deck.
That's too bad. Well, as a result of that, I'm now spending this turn more than likely playing the other Zeno in my hand. So it could be worse. I could just not have one. But that just shows the power of the Greatest Fusion. Since it's a 3 energy play, you can easily take 3 markers off by using those 2 fusions in combination. And that plus your leader and your Unison attack, I mean, you can kill even the biggest Unisons, even through cards like Dormant Potential, for example, where you may be locked on your number of attacks. 5 markers easy, and pretty much takes care of everything in the format. As you can see, my optimal response is to play Zeno for as many energy as I can at this time to try to stabilize, to not have that happen again, since that whole chain has deflect. There's really nothing you can do about it.
And on top of that, even if you negate the 2 attacks, yes, the whole chain has deflect, and the leader can pay an energy to neg you of a Unison counter too. So it's just a whole bunch of Unison interaction.
Unfortunately, the one thing with that combo is, and as opposed to Grim Reaper, those fusions are the ones that do not return the Goten and Trunks hand when it leaves. So that was a perfect play for the Zamasu to put that to the bottom of the deck. All right, I'd like to say it's pretty even here. 6 life to 6 life. Both of us have pretty strong hands. Nothing major on board. Pretty solid start here. It's gonna lead in with an attack. I'm assuming to you. You'll know if it's leader or Unison, because I'll negate it if it's
Yeah, I mean, if it was going to face, you already know what you would do.
Yeah. More than likely, Zeno. I prefer in this matchup not to let my Zeno go below 4 markers, just because it's so easy, like as you just saw, to rip it from 4 markers. Without really even needing that many attacks. So I started it at 5. It went to 4. I figured by now if he started by attacking Zeno, he's going to commit to Zeno. And here we are with another Greatest Fusion.
It actually really is crazy how much. Oh, had the max rarity hit. Okay, or just have a complete playset.
Well, did he drop his fusion pieces?
No, he didn't drop his fusion pieces. So wait.
Oh, he
Yeah.
hard casted it.
Yes,
I got you.
He
I
hard
see
casted
3
it,
energy.
and then he switched it with his champion pack.
I see. He did not fusion. He hard casted. Ooh, he must be out of Gotenks and Trunkses. That's interesting.
Yeah, it seems like his opening hand and his fusion fodder were not optimal this game.
Let's see. Interesting turn here. He can't remove the Zeno. He does his best to try. So, I think this might turn the game here. Realizing that he's out of fusion. This must mean he's out of fusion pieces, which means he can't use his Grim Reapers. So we keep this Unison Vegito under control, and I think I can get a good swing here for the tempo. Because right now he's up on tempo. He should be going into his major plays, but he can't do it. All right, see how this turns out.
Yeah, normally for blue, this would be where you want to be. Your opponent kind of petering out on plays, you untapping to mad amounts of energy. It's just that against Gotenks in specific, with deflecting on some of these cards, he just needs to draw the bomb and the pieces necessary to start resolving them, and that's kind of an issue.
Attack with Zeno, Carbon Monkey. That's the only thing that made sense there.
Yeah.
Just don't have any use for the energy, so trying to create the use for it before we pop it. All right. We see you. The draw 2 Saiyan Instincts. Whew. Man, long history with this card.
No, Amani could smell the ability to try to swing for advantage here, and so it's happening.
Gains dual attack, makes sense. Don't even worry about the 3-drop go to this point. Does he play the Manaka? No Manaka? Senzu Bean into a Boony. Okay, so we go leader swing. It's gotta be Senzu Bean into a Boony.
Yeah, if it wasn't Manaka for the push, it was definitely Senzu Bean for the 4-drop. Yep.
Yeah,
Clean.
looking at that. It's a clean Senzu Bean since the Zamasu has dual attacks, so it'll keep that 20k for both attacks in the event that it's not the Unison that I attack.
No, it is most certainly pressure. I mean, you're going to get 2 20k swings. That's either just for free on the Unison or pressure on the leader. But he's got to make sure that Unison does not go off.
This card, ladies and gentlemen, this card is... He dodges every free counterplay. He can't even freeze it here because the tokens have no energy cost and a Boony can't be KO'd. This card, man. This is a very strong, essentially a 3 energy play since when you reveal a top card, if it's a battle card, he untaps energy on the main phase. These are my Arcana leaders that I'm using for tokens here for our game, Arcana Legends. Check it out.
Oh yeah, you can give me the link if Corey has a channel, or now that I can put that definitely in the description.
He got me. So obviously, with a Zeno attack and 2 leader swings, you would have thought that he would have used Dormant if he had it. So we felt like the bait was there, but he got us on the clapback.
I actually cannot tell if this was the most big brain play on waiting till you played a Boony to play Dormant, or if it was like the smooth brain play to let multiple attacks go through before Dormant dropped.
We went over it a couple of times. When it comes to the Vegito Unison, if the Unison's at 6 and you play Dormant while I'm attacking it, it's gonna go down to 5. And that means that no matter what happens, you can't use its -7 next turn. Correct. So at that point, understanding that about it, there's no sense in using Dormant to save it if all you see presented with you is the threat of a Zeno and a dual attack leader, because it's only going to go down to 3 markers. In that theory, since you're using the Vegito Unison, you've either given up on the idea of resolving the -7, or you're just going to slide an extra copy of it under him each turn for the next 2 turns as you go +2. But if you don't have full protection on the Unison, it becomes very difficult to get that -7. So there's no real point in saving it. As long as it's there for the -2, I think that should be, and the free Dormant, that should be sufficient. If it gets -7, it gets to -7, but we don't play for that like we should, like it may seem.
I feel like you should never play a Unison for its big minus, because those are conditional. Like, you don't always get to those.
Yeah, much harder than they look. So
This-
I see a crit one for a Goten and Trunks, attacks the Unison, bounces back. Oh my goodness. He has no Gotenkses.
Yep, and this is the first time in the game he's actually resolved the play from deck of the Goten or Trunks. Like, this is a very awkward game.
Yeah, this is super weird. Not only has he only played 3s and 5s for the fusions, knowing that the 6-drop is the most powerful fusion, he's only hit the 3s and the 5s. But now he hardcasted a 3-drop, and then he doesn't even see a Gotenks from his top 5. What is happening?
Death.
Tempo is so strong here in the for the Zamasu because the Gotenks is just out of Gotenks plays. At this point now, one Unison in energy. He's already killed one. The other one's hanging on by a thread. He's gonna have to kill it. Another one. He's really looking for a Gotenks. He's got to let it go. It's no way he can save it. Not through all of that.
Nope.
Yeah, there we go. Look again.
Yo.
Oh my goodness.
This is the definition of yo.
This is so crazy. I mean, he's critting the 4 turns his Paragus on, so his super combo's alive, but why on earth? There's nothing that can justify having crit 2 life to not see your target, not once, but twice. Rough. He's trying. He's definitely trying to get there. Max power!
No. See, this is the funny thing. He tried to use max power on a target that had equal power. And Amadi just kinda told him, yo, no, it's greater. It's greater than your energy.
Too bad. Max power is one of the few ways that if you can touch Obuni, you can touch Obuni, because it warps the card instead of killing you. And that's very powerful.
The only way that can happen is if they play it on turn 3 with 4 energy, and then their stuff like goes away at the end of turn and stuff like that. Like, but unfortunately, that was just a slight misplay.
It's all right. They figured it out. And max power is an excellent negate before it becomes a pop. But now that he's revealed it, it may change the state of this next turn. I mean, that doesn't make
Y'all may be asking what's worse than one Obuni checking the top card of your deck, doing Obuni things.
2 Obunis. But does he have another dormant? So far, we've only seen one revealed, as in he only activated one. We haven't seen the other 3 anywhere yet. So logically, it's very possible that if he doesn't have Gotenkses and fusion pieces in his hand, what is he holding? He's got to have another dormant. But let's see. Is he gonna bait it out again, or is he gonna wait for? Because second Obuni just seems the most logical here to play.
Nah, dude. Always lucky Justin Rosenberg. You know he's holding SCR and dormants.
It's definitely gonna be a second Obuni now. The Zeno flips 1. Boom. Yeah. That's the perfect 4. We're untapping 1 at the turn.
And his Obuni effect's already made sure that he's going to see an energy untap at the beginning of next turn.
There it is. That card is so nuts.
Right, so he doesn't even have to worry about tapping out here because he's already sure he's not tapping out. So the second Obuni play is monstrous. And now neither Obuni can be KO'd right now.
Ladies are back on the board representing our 15k Obuni after image tokens. What? There's a dormant.
1 engraved, 1 on top of deck.
Alright, well there's 2. I still think he's got 1.
Shuffled away, actually. Shuffled away on the top of the deck.
Leader has dual attack, but it doesn't matter now. Now it seems like ideally you're going to swing with leader, because if he does dormant, and this would be a perfect dormant time. There it is. Yeah. So at least you get the double draw from the leader. He got him. Baited him a second time.
So after doing it a second time, maybe it's not smooth brain. Maybe it's highly calculated.
Yes, it's we talked about it. Yeah. Obviously, the most powerful thing that Blue can play in the mid game is Obuni, and having dormant to answer the tokens is much more valuable than letting Obuni stay free. and then having the second negate, which in this time is he drops his oh my goodness, yeah, documents for days.
Yes.
Boo Boo Volleyball, drop a green card and pick up your Goten and Trunks'. This should put Justin back online. I really like the Boo Boo Volleyball in the deck. I understand how as a negate it can be situationally clunky, but it's one of the very few negates that are like a break even on negate. Since you play it, you discard a card, so it's 2 cards out of your hand, and then you add 2 fusion pieces back to your hand. Most negates just lose the card from their hand unless they do something special, like Dimension Magic has Sparking.
And it's like even on top of that, it's going to fix the problem he's been having all game with bringing some of his rarely used pieces back to hand. But the biggest thing seeing this turn for me is he discarded Dormant with Boo Boo Volleyball. And what that tells me immediately is that he has decided that there is not going to be another turn for him after he untaps. Like,
he's at 2 life. This has to be his last turn. Well, the Reaper is here at last, so now he could actually make plays. He's got 4 energy left. I mean, there's many things he could do here. Let's see what he goes with. Trunks is not optimal, so no need to hit Zeno if you're going for game. It's probably just going to be all leader swings.
And 6 is a huge number of energy for most decks, but like there's so many, like you could resolve if you wanted to in the same turn 3 Reapers off of 6 energy. There's a lot you can do here this turn.
If he has his targets now, I mean, we just saw him put down 2 from the Boo Boo Volleyball and then proceed to draw 3 new cards. So it's very possible he may have picked up more targets. If he could make another Gotenks appear, this might be an opportunity for him. So, okay, so he starts off here attacking the Obuni. So maybe he is fishing.
It's kind of odd for me. Like, I can understand the argument of not giving you cards in hand, but if he's discarding like dormants, I'm not sure why he's trying to clear your board, especially when they're tapped and can't add the combo power.
Maybe he's fishing for information. I can't say for sure here. It's very possible that at this moment he doesn't have a way to close the game yet, and maybe he's just digging for some more opportunity. He'd need either another 2 fusion pieces. Gotenks 3 is unique. There's one.
Yep, tapped energy to put out a faultless.
Yes, when you use the Goten or the Trunks Bonds of Friendship ability from the hand, you have to tap it.
Yep.
So he Trunks it. Okay. That's one of the very few uses of Trunks in this deck, is to keep that keep those little 3 drops from hitting the board to create a successor 12.
Yep, Amani can definitely smell the successor play coming up, and so he's trying to make sure that it don't happen. But the hand is still stacked, and with 3 energy, he could technically put out like another Reaper. Does the TP have unique on it or no?
Yes.
Okay, so he can't put out another one of those, but he can put out another faultless or Goten and Trunks effect to do those things. So.
Here comes another Reaper, I think. He definitely, he's seeing his pieces now. If he discarded the Trunks to get faultless, then I would safely assume that he had pieces. Maybe he was just trying to create a Goten opportunity.
Very possible.
There it is. Draw 2 more. Have the flex. Be worth 2 more attacks. It's top 7 for another.
Like, it's only kind of sort of good. The deck is only kind of sort of good.
Alright. Let's see. No baby hatch on the start of the turn. And with me starting at 5 life and going to 4, it's plain obvious that Xenocell can finish the game here, so my hand must be stacked. That was 2 attacks. He hit a booty and then he hit my leader. Okay. Right.
And I definitely feel like at this point, if the hatch was in hand, it would have been like windmilled by now.
Possibly. With Justin being at 2 life, there's no sense in going through all the trouble here, because we could just finish. Because we could have just baby hatched and then finished. There it is. He goes straight into Xenocell. Let's see what he pulled.
it was super telegraphed, but with a card this powerful, like, it doesn't matter. Like, it got deflect. Like, you can't really do anything about it.
Well, there's a
okay, yeah,
there it
yeah,
is.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
I remember how I lost this game now.
I remember how you lost this game too.
I had 5 negates in my hand. And he pulls Dimension Magic of all the negates, so I can't play a second one. And then pulls my max power.
Yup. And he's gonna swing here. Discard 2. It does not matter.
If the attack goes through, that should be a wrap.
Utterly nasty. And he knows. He's swinging for alpha here. Wow, all of his combo energy Gotenks.
Super combo, drop 1, draw 2, put the other max power to the bottom. Cry Tears of Blood. Check graveyard for the likelihood of drawing another super combo. That's the only one.
Tears of
Do we
Blood.
see it?
No Mengeki.
No, we don't.
Nope. That's what that baby Unison. His hands went up to his face. No. Not like this.
There it is, 45.
His life had Baby Hatch in it.
Baby Hatch in my life.
So as you can see, as you guys can see, sometimes it doesn't matter. This man had a full commanding board presence and just Xeno-celled himself out of it. But I think this is going to actually end in a moment of money, so we might have to take it to game 2.
That'll work.
Alrighty then. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll follow up with the closing. And there you have it. That is game 1. It's actually crazy to see how much gas both decks had in the tank. But I hope you guys were not only satisfied with the matchup, but also satisfied with the commentary. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought, how we can improve. Like I said, I will keep going over this until I provide the best matches on screen on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next installment. Later.